This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
Now at noon, we start with breaking news. Aretha Franklin died Thursday morning at age 76. The Queen of Soul passed away at her home in Detroit, surrounded by family and friends. Her publicist saying Franklin died from advanced pancreatic cancer. Funeral arrangements will be announced in the coming days. Franklin had quite the career. She has 44 Grammy nominations and 18 wins. 10 of those wins are for Best R&B Vocal Performance. She performed at the inaugurations of 3 U.S. presidents, Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama. In addition to receiving a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, she's been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the NAACP Hall of Fame, along with the Apollo Theater Legends Hall of Fame. And again, Rory Polero joining us now here on News Now at noon. This news, Rory, is huge for the music community. Obviously, Aretha Franklin is a trailblazer, really, in her industry.
She's iconic. There are certain performers, they don't need a whole name. You say Elvis, you know who we mean. You
Right.
say Michael, you say Aretha, there's only one. And I think the thing with her music is all you had to hear was that da-dun-dun, and you knew who it was and what song it was. Mm-hmm. My personal favorite of hers is her scene from the Blues Brothers movie, where she sings You Better Think. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And a live look here in Los Angeles from KABC, and you see her Hollywood star, the Walk of Fame. And you see people are already, in the last 2 hours of this news becoming mainstream and breaking, putting flowers and a crown and a photo of her there. And it looks like it's kind of hard to make out what that sign says, but it says respect. And do you see what it says on the bottom, Rory?
Thank you, Ms. Franklin.
Okay.
I find it fitting that there's a crown for the Queen of Soul.
Absolutely.
I also find it ironic that the Queen of Soul died August 16th, and Elvis, the King of Rock and Roll, died August 16th.
Oh, really?
So today is the 41st anniversary, and it's not a good day to be music royalty, August 16th, apparently.
No, it doesn't seem like that. And, her music has touched, I know we were just watching some of the national coverage, has touched so many people in so many different walks of lives. And really, for her being the first African-American to be inducted into so many things, and the first female African-American is like I said, she is a trailblazer.
She was the first female in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was a beautiful singer, a beautiful woman, and a beautiful person. And she helped, rock and roll originally broke the gap between blacks and whites in America. Chuck Berry, people like that. But Aretha was very vital in that, and she spoke out about things that mattered.
Mm-hmm. And so definitely a lot of people saying hello to Lauren, to David here. Again, another live look at the Hollywood Walk of Fame. All saying rest in peace, Aretha, and definitely, she will be missed. And it seems like whenever we have, a big star passing away, obviously in this sense, the family saying that they knew this was coming. She had cancer, and they knew what the outcome was going to be. But it seems like in some senses people come together, and that's what it looks like is happening, at least in Los Angeles right now, if not all across the country or the world.
Well, my curiosity would be what the reaction is in her hometown of Detroit.
Yeah.
She was known for loving Detroit and loving her hometown. But it's true. I mean, even when you know it's coming, we knew my father had lung cancer and was dying. But when it finally did happen, it was still a punch in the gut. It's still a shock. And even though the family and friends apparently had time to say goodbye to Aretha, it still hits. I know that a couple of celebrities, Stevie Wonder, went to visit her over the last week when it was announced that she was soon going to pass. She was working with hospice.
We want to check in now with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who's standing by at the First Defense Weather Center. Dakota, with a first look at kind of what's going on across much of the area. How you doing?
Hey Jay, and happy Thursday, everybody. Well, it's not very a happy Thursday since we just lost the Queen of Soul, and I'm standing up on my wall trying not to cry because I loved her music. She was just amazing. So
Yep,
anyway, as we take a look at the radar here, you can see a few scattered showers out to our west. That's going to be becoming more numerous as we go throughout the day today, and especially tomorrow with another system. 80 was the high yesterday, not too far off from our average. Look at the record of the state, 91 set in 96, and the sun will set at 8:16 and it'll rise tomorrow morning at 6:27, and so we're losing actually daylight. So anyway, 76 to 80 is the high temp for today. Showers and storms will come our way through the afternoon and evening hours. Heavy rainfall possible, and it obviously will stay muggy as well with a south wind 6 to 12. We'll time out the rest of the rain chances along with that quick solution 7-day and a check of the remainder of the news headlines as News Now at Noon continues in just a minute. The Frewsburg Pharmacy is the small-town pharmacy with big-time service. Located at 26 West Main Street, Greg Nelson treats his customers like family, so you are in good hands when you walk through the door. The Frewsburg Pharmacy has everything you need and more, including a gift shop for the seasons. Stop down to the Frewsburg Pharmacy today and let the staff show you why the Frewsburg Pharmacy is the pharmacy that cares about you.
Hey, this is Ryan Hedrick reporting from the Jamestown Bowling Company, where the bowling is off the hook, the food is even better, and the camaraderie watching sports is oh so great.
The food is fantastic and the drinks are cold.
Mark was bowling almost a perfect game. Mark, do you come here a lot?
Every day.
Wow, Mark comes here every day. No excuse for you not to get to Jamestown Bowling Company on Foot Avenue. Jamestown Bowling Company. Eat, drink, bowl, and be merry.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
Everything's made fresh here. We love to be outside, and it's nice inside if it's raining, so we have a choice.
Locals and non-locals agree that the Main Landing is quickly becoming a destination.
It's just so casual, and just the food is amazing.
I love the hamburgers.
But I really like the tuna I had.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
For more than 2 decades, Dorler Landscape Designs has provided exceptional service to customers right here in Chautauqua County with one goal in mind: transform your lawn into an attractive landscape that will be the envy of the neighborhood. From landscape design to lawn maintenance to sprinkler installation and so much more. Count on Dorler Landscaping. Call us today and let us get to work for you. Dorler Landscaping Designs at dorlerlandscape.com.
Live and on demand from the WNY News Now studios in downtown Jamestown. This is News Now at noon.
And welcome back to News Now at noon. A check of some other headlines we're following today. A woman was killed in a one-car collision on Abbott Road Wednesday in Cattaraugus County. New York State troopers say that 42-year-old Karen Putt's 2006 Jeep Liberty was headed east on the roadway when it crossed over the center line and crashing into a tree. Putt was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say an autopsy is scheduled to determine the cause of death. And a Cattaraugus County mother is facing assault charges after sheriff's deputies said she injured her 4-month-old child in early August. 23-year-old Michaela Mix of Kilbuck, New York, was taken into custody Wednesday. She's charged with assault and endangering the welfare of a child following an incident on August 3rd. Mix was arraigned and remanded to Cattaraugus County Jail. And 4 people were arrested yesterday morning after the Southern Tier Regional Drug Task Force executed a search warrant on a South Roberts Roadhouse in Dunkirk. Police said the search resulted from a month-long investigation where undercover cops made numerous controlled purchases from suspects at the residence. 4 people were taken into custody facing numerous drug charges after officers seized over a half an ounce of heroin, marijuana, and a large quantity of cash. New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo was trying to make an argument about gender equality when he took a swipe at President Trump's famous catchphrase, "Make America Great Again." Cuomo was giving a speech at an event in New York Wednesday when he said, America, quote, was never that great. Take a listen.
And look, the simple point is all this comes down to this. We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great. We have not reached greatness. We will reach greatness when every American is fully engaged.
President Trump and a Republican rival hoping to unseat Cuomo in November blasted the governor. The president tweeting late Wednesday night, "Can you believe this is the governor of the highest tax state in the U.S.? Andrew Cuomo having a total meltdown." And Cuomo's Republican challenger, Mark Molinaro, said Cuomo owes the nation an apology and he should be ashamed of himself. Meanwhile, a press secretary for Cuomo said in a statement, the governor believes America is great and that her full greatness will be fully realized when every man, woman, and child has full equality. America has not yet reached its maximum potential. Several local libraries will receive more than $775,000 in state public library construction grants. This announced by New York State Senator Catherine Young this week. 18 libraries from the Chautauqua-Cattaraugus Library System, the Southern Tier Library System, and the Pioneer Library System were selected. Young said the funding will enable libraries to better meet the needs of their patrons by increasing accessibility and modernizing facilities, at the same time reducing operating costs. The awards are from $24 million from a capital funds allocated by the legislature to help public libraries in the state. You can see the full list of what libraries will be getting what on our website, WNYNewsNow.com. Coming up next, a special report by our Rory Polero, a look into horrible allegations of sexual abuse by priests in Pennsylvania, what 2 Warren priests allegedly did near Warren, when we come back.
Brought to you by the people giving hope at Gifts Decor and More. With the controversial Kratom, Gifts Decor and More is giving hope to Southern Chautauqua County residents, one visit at a time.
The Fitness Bunker in Lakewood is a locally owned and operated club that cares about your health and wellness. They invest in it. Right now, enter their 30-day challenge, where for only $69, you get 30 days of unlimited everything. That's right, everything, along with 2 one-on-one personal training sessions. Then, if you lose 10 pounds, you'll get the next month free. Plus, the first place winner will get 2 Buffalo Bills tickets or a $100 gift card. Details right now on the Fitness Bunker's Facebook page.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Turn to Brotherhood Property Maintenance for all your lawn care and landscaping needs. Serving both commercial and residential lots. Check out Jamestown's fastest growing landscaping crew on Facebook or call us now to book an appointment.
Love is a blaze, I saw flames from the side of the stage, and the fire brigade comes in a couple of days. Until then, we got nothing to say and nothing to know, but something to drink and maybe something to smoke.
And welcome back to New and Noteworthy on a very busy news day. It's kind of been a busy news week. We thank you all for joining us here on Facebook Live with our discussion. Rory P. is in for Matt this afternoon, and you have quite a bit to talk about. You've done some very in-depth research on a sickening story that's really made it worldwide at this point.
It's one of the most disturbing things I've ever covered as a journalist, but it has to be read and it has to be reported. The grand jury in Pennsylvania, following a 2-year investigation, has revealed that 301 priests molested or raped at least 1,000 people, youngsters, young men, boys, young girls, and that the church knew about it and covered it up. And 2 of them were in Warren.
Now, this is part, we have the graphic on the screen now. This is part of a series that we're running at WNY News Now dubbed Suffer the Little Children. Yesterday, you published part 1 of the part 4 series.
Yes.
And kind of outlining what the grand jury alleged overall.
Yes.
Just this morning, part 2, which is what we're going to talk about today, closer to home in Warren, Pennsylvania.
At St. Joseph's, yes. I used to drive by that every day when I lived down there. There were 2 priests of the 301 named by the grand jury, where they were Father Thomas Smith and Father Salvatore Luzzi. Now, Smith had been twice sent away on a, quote, leave of absence to go get psychological treatment. In 1987, the diocesan records show that the treatment facility for Smith sent Roman Catholic officials a note that Smith was driven, compulsive, and long-standing obsession with sexually assaulting children. The facility warned that since his first treatment in 1984, Smith had not stopped sexually assaulting children and the interdiction was needed. And the response, see, the diocese has a secret file with things like this in it, and only the bishop is allowed access to it.
Wow.
So they were aware of it. Smith continued on in his duties with some restrictions. And in 1994, there was a very public case in Altoona, Johnstown. And all Pennsylvania bishops received a confidential letter from the Most Reverend Joseph V. Adamek, Bishop of the Altoona, Johnstown Diocese. In his letter to the bishops, he explained that steps had to be taken to protect the secret archives from litigation.
So the church has tried to cover this up.
Absolutely.
The whole time.
Well, even further, Bishop Troutman gave a 2002 interview while he was dealing with the problems with Smith and with Luzzi. He told a reporter that, quote, "We have no priest or deacon or layperson that I know of that has in any way a pedophile background." And Father Luzzi had admitted to molesting over 30 years at least 8 males. Then when several other juvenile victims received letters or phone calls of apology from Troutman and the diocese, they were counseled by the diocese, including in-person interviews. But Luzzi's behavior was dismissed as, quote, Sal's way of expressing himself, or, quote unquote, his touching approach to ministry. And they blamed it on his Italian upbringing. As Italian and a Christian, I'm kind of offended by that. But lastly, in today's report, the grand jury noted, quote, the grand jury received evidence that several diocesan administrators, including the bishops, often dissuaded victims from reporting abuse to the police, pressured law enforcement officials to terminate or avoid investigation, or conducted their own deficient, biased investigating, and that they continually tried to cover it up. Now, just today, Bishop Troutman was retired, issued a statement on the diocese webpage. He did an interview with one of their reporters, and he says the grand jury twisted things, left things out, and that he had no knowledge of it, and when he got knowledge of it, he did everything he could to stop it.
Okay, but we do have to say that is from the bishops himself.
Yes.
And from a news organization that is funded by the church. So,
yes. And this is not an attack on the Catholic Church. I was a Catholic for years. When you find good Catholics, you find great people.
Right.
But it's obvious that it was a systemic problem that they all colluded in, like it was trafficking young boys.
And the thing that I discussed last night with friends and family is that you see something like this, where you have these allegations, and you think of what the church, at least what their public image looks like to people. They go, okay, this is a safe place. This is a place where I can drop off my kids for daycare.
Yeah.
This is a place where we can learn as a family, where we can grow as a family.
Where I get counseling from my priest.
In time of need.
Yes.
Talk to someone. And that, I think, for me, is the hardest part of this story. Because these men, this is all alleged, they're not guilty yet. Some of them won't ever be because of the statute of limitations.
Yep.
But just the even inkling that, okay, someone did something wrong, but it wasn't just one of them.
Well,
Hundreds.
The grand jury pointed out that the victim count actually will never be known because there are many who died. There were some that committed suicide. There were some who died of overdoses. It impacted their lives. And the grand jury said that they think it's probably several thousand if they really knew all the cases. And this was just Pennsylvania. And it's not just Pennsylvania. It happens in New York, it happens in Ohio, and Hawaii, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Paris, wherever. But I think the thing is, the Bible warns about wolves in sheep clothing. You send your kid to be an altar boy, and you find out things are happening. Or you send your daughter to Catholic Youth, CYO, and you find out things happened. It seems like the Catholic Church is making changes, and we're going to look at that in tomorrow's.
Yes.
But the grand jury and other people are telling, people told the grand jury, high-ranking Catholics told the grand jury, the only way to change it is through public and media pressure, that the church will not change it within themselves, and that they're only reacting to bad publicity. So, but my prayers go out to all the victims, and the Bible says, better for you if you have a millstone around your neck and be cast in the sea than to harm one of my little ones.
When we return, a check of the skies. Chief forecaster Dakota Hunter will be in studio to talk about what is next.
Looking great.
For the next 7 days. Looking kind of gray out there right now. Details coming.
So let's go somewhere no one else can see you and me. Turn the lights out now. Now I'll take you by the...
First Defense Weather is sponsored by Quick Solutions of Jamestown. Count on Quick Solutions for printing, copying, mass mailings, and so much more. Part of your team. Learn more at QuickSolutionsUSA.com. That's QuickSolutionsUSA.com.
I just love to be with the dogs, and I like to do them one at a time. They don't wait for 5 hours in my shop. We have full groom, which includes everything from A to Z, nails, of course brushing, any trimming that needs to be done. I do offer teeth brushing, which is a little extra. So if he takes me 2 hours, it's $40. If he takes me 3 hours, I still keep it down. As long as the dog comes back happy and not at the door, I'm happy.
WNY News Now is sponsored by Chautauqua Audio Works, 3335 South Roberts Road in Fredonia. More than a music store. Call 679-4333. Call now, 679-4333.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
And welcome back to New and Noteworthy on to this Thursday. Chief forecaster Dakota Hunter joins us now in studio to talk about what's next for the next couple days here weather-wise. Dakota, I know right now on the HD News Now cam, it's looking a little gray.
Hey, you got it right.
I did.
Yes.
I said it right. we have to do, they say you have to do things 21 times before you get it right. I say HD News Now.
I'm not getting married 20 more times.
No. Oh, that's good. So Dakota,
give us some good weather for my grandson's birthday party Saturday and in Pittsburgh for the Cubs game Sunday.
Well, the good news is the weekend is mainly looking dry at this point. There is a 20% chance of rain showers tomorrow, but it's very isolated. The majority of the day should be dry, so we're calling it partly sunny. Now, there is a system out to our west that's throwing rain our way today, tonight, and then throughout the day and night tomorrow. It'll start to taper off late tomorrow night, and then we actually cool off going into next week. We actually will see temperatures in the mid to lower 70s as high temperatures next week. The average high is 79, and we actually will see a break in the humidity over the weekend, but it will start to come back early next week. And I would have loved to have shown you the graphics, but we have Link's meltdown back in the weather office. So
yeah, I heard that things weren't going very well.
Yeah, we're going to send our engineers. Actually, we have a whole team of engineers in the weather office right now trying to figure out what happened. So we will have a full weather segment on the website at WNYNewsNow.com/weather. As soon as we get the weather equipment up, we'll have a full weather segment for you on the website.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dakota. Before
welcome.
we go, we wanted to talk about very interesting kind of political comments over the weekend. I'm sorry, not over the weekend, over the last 24 hours by New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo, who called out President Donald Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again." We talked about this in the news rundown, but wanted to give you a little bit more on it. So Cuomo, speaking at a women's and girls' rights rally in New York City. Take a listen.
And look, the simple point is all this comes down to this. We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great. We have not reached greatness. We will reach greatness when every American is fully engaged.
So obviously, a lot of people angered by that.
America was great enough for the grandson of an Italian immigrant to have his father be governor and him be governor and probably run for president. I'd take that. To me, if you don't think America's great, why do you stay here? If I hated New York, which I don't, it's getting there, but I don't, I'd leave New York. If he doesn't like America, okay, change it, which he's trying to do.
Right.
But don't sit there and say, I mean, the reaction of the audience, there were people that gasped and people that booed, and this just helps his Republican challenger, Mark Molinaro, and it helps his Libertarian challenger, Larry Sharpe.
Yeah.
And it probably helps Cynthia Nixon in the primary.
And the thing, too, is Cuomo, you have I see this all the time with government, and the one thing that, and this kind of irks me a little bit, is he's at an event, and it's almost like no matter what, you just can't announce what you're going to announce. It has to be political some way, somehow. And believe me, Trump's on Twitter all the time. Right? People get upset about that. People get upset about Cuomo's comments. It's like, can't we just run government and go home at the end of the day? I mean,
well, that's partly
it's like a life. Like he has a lifestyle. Not just him, but all of Albany and D.C. It's
and part of this is because of term limits. There aren't term limits. The United States founding fathers never meant for somebody to be a congressman for 40 years or a governor for 12 years or whatever.
You run. You do what's good for your community, what you think is good. And then you hand it off to somebody else. And usually, if you having a good vision, that next person's going to pick up your vision.
Absolutely. I think one of the problems is that Cuomo's obviously eyeing a presidential run, but I think people on both sides, not just the Democrats, but on both sides, tend to take all this personally.
Yeah.
And to quote The Godfather, it's not personal, it's business.
Right.
But when you insult my country, we made mistakes, but pick another place that's done what we've done.
Right.
Go to Cuba and see how go to Venezuela and see how they're doing.
Right. There are still so many great things going on in our country right now.
In another country, he'd get shot for saying that.
Right.
If he came out and said Venezuela's never been that great, bang.
And at least here we have the right to speak what we want.
Yep.
And in my opinion, that's one of the greatest things about the country.
Immediately when there was a social media backlash to his comment, they started soft-pedaling. His press secretary came out and said, oh no, he thinks America's great, but not reached its fulfillment.
Take your viewpoint, stand on it. and move forward with it. Don't backpedal.
Yeah, if you said it and you meant it, stick by it.
We are out of time for today, Rory. Thank you for being in here with us.
Thank you, Dakota.
We want to do another live look here at the Aretha Franklin Hollywood Star. More signs are coming in.
An apple with an incense.
Apple? Yeah, it does have an incense on it. And incredible. So today, unfortunately, a great star lost. But a lot of people mourning that. We leave you with this live look. We'll be back tomorrow.
Break time, I said a little prayer for you.